Hey guys, welcome to my channel if you're new, welcome back if you're true. I'm Dara, real estate investor, entrepreneur, and consultant out of Atlanta, Georgia. And this video was highly requested. This is going to be a story time of my very first wholesale deal, which I'll never forget. So make sure you tune in all the way to the end. And before I dive into the story, make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on that bell notification so that you're always notified whenever I make a new upload. All right, jumping right into it, my very first wholesale deal. So a little bit of background. I started wholesaling here in Atlanta in 2016. And I started with my mom. We got our start from going to a real estate seminar, and from there we went and found a real estate investing association here in Atlanta that we joined. I found a mentor, and he literally held my hand through everything I needed to know on how to get my first deal and then some. So the date was May 5th, 2016. That's the date I incorporated my business. That's the date I got an LLC. And I didn't close my first deal until September. It was September 30th to be exact, that same year. Now that wasn't my first appointment, however. So between May and September, I had been on several appointments. I made hundreds of phone calls, sent out hundreds of handwritten yellow letters till I upgraded my life to postcards. And I remember actually being in people's living room giving them the lowest of lowball offers. It's crazy. But yeah, so this was my very first contract, and I got it to close in 9 days. I closed it in 9 days from the time that I got it under contract with the homeowner, the seller, and the time that I closed on it with my buyer was 9 days. And let me tell you why. Let me get into the actual nitty-gritty of this first deal. So if you're familiar with Atlanta at all, or the Atlanta real estate market, or anything about Atlanta, you have heard of the coveted Beltline. So this property was a fixer-upper. The situation was that the homeowner lived, I think, 2 hours away, and she inherited the property, and it sat right on the Beltline. Now, my mom and I knew about the Beltline because as we were going to all these RIA meetings and things, everybody was just so harped on this Beltline. Like, this is where you need to be investing. This is where you need to be marketing. Here the Beltline, right? So, of course, that's what we were doing. We were driving for dollars every single morning in this area. Hot area, super hot area. But so I remember the date that it all happened because I was out of town. I was actually visiting a friend in St. Louis for Labor Day weekend, and it was September 4th exactly that I received this text on my Google Voice number. So random, number not saved, out of nowhere. Excuse me. And I think it was like, "Hi Dara, my name is," her name, "and I'm responding to your letter you sent me about selling this house." Don't you know, whatever I was doing at that moment stopped, dropped, and rolled, because I was like, oh, yeah, like out of town, different time zone, but ready to go. So I think I called her immediately, or maybe texted her back. Yeah, I'm so interested. I would love to come and see the property on Tuesday, because it was Labor Day weekend. So I think I had that Monday still on vacation, and I was coming back. Listen, as soon as I touch down on the soil of Atlanta, this red clay, I'm going to see that property. So let's make an appointment, And so she stood me up for the appointment. I had my mentor ready to go. He was like, yep, it wasn't my first appointment, but he was ready to go with me on this appointment. And she canceled the morning of because she lived 2 hours away, like I said. And she, I guess, said something about timing, traffic, whatever the case is. She could not drive up 2 hours to show me the house. So nevertheless, my mentor and I still went out to go see it. We were able to see what we needed, got what we needed. And so I reached back out to her, and I was like, you know what, miss, I'm so eager. Like, I'm like, lady, we gonna get this done. So I'm like, you know, so-and-so, it's okay that you couldn't meet me out there. I was able to get what I needed and see what I need to see. So when can we meet to get this whoop tied up, sealed with a bow? Like, when can we get this done? I was like, I'm willing to come to and drive 2 hours to come and get this contract. What's up? And she's like, no, it's okay. Let's meet in the middle. Let's meet halfway. So we met at a McDonald's an hour in the middle. So I drove an hour, she drove an hour. We met at this McDonald's, and she brought her son and business partner, and I brought my mom and business partner, and it was cute, and we were just relating to each other. Had a very amazing interaction, amazing meeting at this McDonald's. And so we're sitting across from each other now talking about it, and we're negotiating. And like I said, she was here. I can't remember her price. She was here, I sit here, and then she came to here, and then we agreed on here. So yeah, so I'm like excited. I'm talking about the ink is still wet and dripping. I'm excited. I'm in this car. Call my mentor. She agreed to this price. Oh my God. And he was like, you should have got it lower. Bump that. Listen, this is so I got home, and of course I had the comps and everything already ready to go. I remember not being sure on what I should ask for. I was so naive and like, well, I don't want to be too greedy. I don't know. It's like, I mean, the numbers were there, right? And I was like, well, I don't know what's a good profit to make, so I'm just gonna put 10,000 on top, right? So that's what I did. I put 10,000 on top of whatever I got it for, and I was like, yeah, I think that's, you know, a good profit. I'm talking about the second I hit send, my phone was blowing up. Hey, this deal you just sent, this deal, email, hey, is this still available? I'm like, go. Like, is this what wholesaling is all about? Like, is this what this is? Like, it's so exhilarating. Like, the adrenaline rush was crazy. I'm like, yeah, it's still available. What's that? Like, yeah. Can I go see it? How can I go see it? All this kind of stuff. So, all this excitement over this deal of mine, I'm telling you, it was gold. You don't understand. Like, I didn't understand what I had in my hands. Anyways, so finally got an offer on it, if not that day, maybe the next day. And it was a full price offer, exactly what we were asking for, closing as soon as you could think. I think closing in 7 days. And we were like, all right, cool, yeah, bet. We'll take it, right? We went with the very first offer that we got. But there were other people still fighting and clawing for this deal. Somebody else was like, they sent in another full price offer. So again, this is me being very naive. Go watch these tips on how you can avoid these mistakes that I made starting out as a wholesaler. And I was like so scared. I was so afraid to ask my buyer, who already had it under contract with me, if he could go up in price. I'm like, morally, that's so wrong. Ethically, that's so wrong, because we already had an agreement at this price. There's no way I should ever fix my lips to ask him to go up. And I remember the day I tried to call him, like, this all happened so fast. Like, now it's Sunday, and I remember because he was at church, so I'm calling this man, interrupting his prayer and his sermon, talking about, hey, I know you agreed to this price, but could you just go up like $500 more? This is how, 500? Girl, that's it? Ooh, don't be like me. Anyway, so he was like, yeah, that's no problem. And the fact that he was just so willing to get it. Anyways, I think that was that. After that, I kind of really, like, literally shut everybody else out. I was like, nah, dog, it's gone. It's lost. Like, if he doesn't close, then I'm going to come back to you. But this is closing. And, you know, it's whatever. You lost out. Sorry. No, they didn't lose out. Sucker, you lost out. But it's all good. I mean, it wasn't a loss because, you know, I made 5 figures on my first check. But getting into that as well. So this was a double close because I was making more than $5,000. So everybody advised you to do a double close. We made more than $5,000. And I told my contract with my end buyer was non-assignable. So now he finally discloses, like, the day of closing or the day before, that he is wholesaling it to his buyer. So he's not the direct buyer. And let me tell you, this was a daisy chain of a deal. We gave it away. I'm talking about gave this deal away. And here I am crying for him to come up $500, and he made a killing off this deal. Not just him, but there was like 2 other middle people. So it's the homeowner, it's me and my mom, him, another wholesaler, and then the end buyer. So all in all, the in-between chunk of profit total that was made, I made $10,000, and I think the final wholesaler made $12,000, and he made like $1,500 or something like that. So all in all, there was at least $23,000 of meat on this bone. So $14,000 that I left on the bone for this deal. Right? So I was kicking myself. And I also found out that with a double close, you're not going to make the profit that you think you're going to make because of the closing costs from the A to B transaction. So since then, I've changed my contracts and tightened them up so that now my profit that I want to get in a double close is exactly what I net, because I've had it worded so that I get around the closing costs. So that was my first deal. Learned so much. Oh, I learned so much from that deal. So make sure you please watch that video on the mistakes to avoid. I did mention that I'm going to make a part 2 to that video because there are several mistakes just in my first deal alone that I have to share with you guys to avoid. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums up my first deal. All in all, I learned not to give my property away. 1. 2, don't be so eager and thirsty and desperate to go with the very first offer on the table. And 3, really like hold on to whatever is worded in your contract, because it said not assignable. And at the end of the day, he assigned it to somebody who else assigned it, and everybody and their mama got a little piece. So yeah, that's my first deal, y'all. Oh, and that's another thing. So I didn't make the 5 figures that I thought I was gonna make. I didn't make the 10,500 that I thought I was gonna make. I ended up making like 9,000 and some change, which was still life changing. It was still very exciting to me. It really proved to me like this thing works. Like this is real. Like I'm like, this got to be illegal. Like I didn't do anything. Remember, I sent out a letter back in the summer. She texted me on Labor Day, and 9 days later, I got $9,000 on my check. I was like, this can't be real. But it was. And so I just am now trying to inspire other people to get into this business. And yeah, if you like this story, which was all over the place, sorry about that, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you like this shirt that I'm wearing and designed myself, go ahead and look down in the description box on how you can order your own. If you would like to consult with me and get your first deal, let me know. Down in the description box, you'll see a link for that. If you would like some leads and a discount on how you can send out postcards to these leads, check down in the description box as well. As always, subscribe to my channel, share this video. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.